Welcome, race fans, and tonight, Ancient World Gaming presents the Relentless Racing League. We have got the Shenandoah Valley Racing 70 here at Texas. We in the Lone Star State tonight. Man, I love this track, but you know what? We've got a special group of guys came in together tonight, and they actually sponsoring this tonight, and that's going to be Shenandoah Valley Racing. And you know what? We're gonna go pick on these guys and see what they're all up to right now. Is they've got one of them's actually sitting on the pole right now, but this is just qualifying, so it don't really count too much of what's going to be tonight. But you know what? Let's drop down here to these guys in Shenandoah Valley and have a quick little holler at them. We've got some of the teams. It's going to be Greg Rogers, Evan Lundy, Spencer Dewsbury, and I believe the one that we're going to really talk to somewhat is William Moore. William, how's the team feeling tonight coming from, trucks into XFINITY? Y'all's a powerhouse in trucks, but, it's a whole new cup of tea now.
Sure is. It's a new car for me and trying to learn it as we go along here, and a lot of good drivers in this series to watch out for, but having a lot of time, and this team's been really great to kind of help me learn the car, and yeah, looking forward to this race and for the season to progress here.
Well, right now in practice, it looks like your teammates kind of running the fastest lap. Are you going to take his talents from him?
This guy has put in the enough practice laps. He deserves it. So that's Mr. Dewsbury referring to, I'm sure, right there, and he's on fire. And watch out for him tonight for sure.
Well, man, why don't y'all tell us a little bit about, Shenandoah Valley Racing? When I think about the country music, Shenandoah, but, that could just be something else. But, give us a little insight about it and everything.
Well, this is it was a team that was set up by Dakota Uranov and a couple others who are based out of the West Virginia area, right in the Shenandoah Valley region. So very, very beautiful region up there. And so I think that's just really the genesis of the team itself. But we're from all over the country, all over the area. So it's just more, if you want to call it a state of mind, we can call it that. That's what the team refers to, or the Shenandoah Valley refers to.
Hey, if it's up around Virginia, it's may share a little bit with the East Tennessee with the Smoky Mountains. So any kind of state of mind from that area is a good mind.
For sure, for sure.
But do y'all run moonshine up there? That's what I got to know.
I can't speak to that, but I'm sure it's tasty as hell.
Okay, neither confirmed or denied that accusation. Greg Lappin, I'm going to say it's a confirmed. But
Well, if you need something, just send us a DM after.
well, you know what,
We'll
Greg?
shoot some up.
I think I might. You became a fan favorite out there. A lot of people pulling for you last season. It just didn't go how it should have. But new season,
Yeah.
I mean, the team sounds like they're hyped and pumped this season.
Yeah, we got a lot of great guys in Xfinity this season, and I'm learning a ton from them. Um, Dakota, Jordan, and I move up to Cup for this season, but I imagine these guys are probably going to move up and possibly even take over our spots on the SVR Cup team. So, yeah, it's last season was okay. Certainly wanted to win, but we're going to start chasing after that on Wednesday. But these guys have their work cut out for them. If you look at like Drinking Bros or um, any other teams that have come back for season 4, it's going to be tough to get a win.
Well, good luck to y'all guys tonight, and hopefully, we'll see. We'll talk to one of y'all. Y'all got enough. We got a 1 out of 4 chance. Hey, we may have all 4 of y'all up there in the podium, so maybe we'll talk to y'all after the race tonight.
Yeah, sounds good. Good luck broadcasting. Have a good time.
All right, brother. We're gonna skedaddle on out of here and let y'all get a game plan set, and we will see y'all during the race.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Well, I've got my normal crew with me, Mr. Bobby Rafferty and Tony Frey. they are with me again tonight, guys. Texas, Lone Star State. Any advice? How y'all think this track's gonna play out tonight?
Oh, I think if you can keep it out of the turn 4 wall, you'll be just fine. I am kind of curious to see how this car handles on the high line in traffic, so it should be interesting.
Bobby, team owner point of view, what are you trying to get into your guys' heads tonight for this race after pretty strong showing last week?
Protect the right front and stay out of the carnage. Those are the two main goals for them tonight. You keep all four on it tonight, and you're gonna have a real good showing. This place is a lot like Atlanta. It's an absolute cheese grater, so got to protect those tires.
We've got about 7 minutes before we go to qualifying, so we're going to give a shout out to a couple sponsors. Talesman's coming in tonight, the Global Drive of Excellence, and SimRoute Market. Remember, use that code RRL Truck Series, get you a little bit money back at checkout. We'll be right back after this. Oh, a couple good little groups right there coming in, and I don't know. Last week was wild. Do y'all think we're gonna be able to top it?
I don't know. I think we're gonna see some spiciness, but I don't know if it's gonna be real wild. I think we're gonna see a lot of cars hitting the wall on exit of turn 2 and turn 4. And we might see the cars get a little loose on the bottom side of turn 3 and 4, but I don't think it'll be like real spicy. Might just be like a chili pepper kind of spicy.
Green pepper, maybe. Nothing drastic. What we're watching right now is Sean Pointer. He's putting him a couple laps in, and right now he's looking to be sitting about 9th with practice. But where you practice and where you qualify don't really mean too much of anything. It's more about where you finish at.
Well, and the draft does play a big part on this track. So if you're out there running laps and no draft, your time is definitely going to be slower than drivers who are in the draft. So practice time, I wouldn't hold the whole, I wouldn't worry too much about. Qualifying time, I think, will be pretty important. I think track position is going to be huge here.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you on that. With the tire fall off here, especially with one and two being such a finesse corner, and 3 and 4, you can really push the issue. You need that good drive off of two to keep your momentum up, and that's going to carry you all the way back around the one.
And along with that, it's going to be really difficult to pass here tonight. The cars are going to be, in my opinion, I think they're going to be pretty evenly matched when they're in the pack. And then if you go too wide off of turn 2 or turn 4, it's definitely not going to end well. So I think being towards the front is definitely going to be a major part of it to increase your chances of winning tonight.
We've got a field of about 30, it looks like. And man, I'm gonna tell you what. You want to talk about how this league's grown? What about last week, the truck ARCA race, especially the truck race? So many people coming in, and that's just a sign of showing, how well this league has grown in the past 2 years. And sponsor, you need to get up in on this league before it gets too big, before you can get in on it.
Yeah, we had to change it up a little bit before we allowed the truck and ARCA drivers to run both series, but because of the huge numbers we have, we had to limit them to one series, and we're still going to have 50 plus drivers in the truck series, meaning that they will have to qualify their way in to be able to race. So it should add another element to the racing.
Bobby, I know that's something you, me, and Tony's all three's actually talked about, the whole race in to get in, man. Let's take it back to the '90s. Give it that real racing feeling.
Yeah,
Well,
I absolutely love it personally because my roots, like you said, back in the '90s in NASCAR, as well as my short track roots. You show up to the track on Friday night, Saturday night. A lot of times, you didn't guarantee your way into the show unless you had like a champions provisional, or something like that. Some of the big shows, if you were if a touring series came around, you would get a provisional by where you were sitting in points or something like that. But for the most part, just normal Saturday night show, you got to race your way in. And I think, it's only going to help people, because it's going to force them to practice, right? You're not going to have a choice but to practice now, and really make sure you're prepared, because you do have that chance of not being able to make it in.
and along with that, you're not going to be able to not qualify anymore, right? Before you could just not qualify and still be in the race, but you're going to have to qualify. If you don't, you won't be running. So it's going to change up some people's mentality on being maybe a little more aggressive in qualifying to secure that starting spot.
I really hate to say it, it's changing up my mentality because I'm not gonna lie, I barely skidded in last week. I mean, barely. I was watching that and sweating. I was like, okay, I'm down to 41. Can we go any lower? Let's not go. But I somehow made it. Bad pit strategy kind of cost me that. But
You got that real life panic in you, is what you got right there, bud.
exactly, man. Because it's like it's like what was talked about. Is like in the '80s and '90s. You could have like 50, 60 people show up ready to race, and you had so many that had to go home. And it threw me for a loop because I had the front pit stop, and I was not expecting that. I was looking towards the end, but that was my mishap. But that's me not being prepared. So preparedness goes a long ways with success.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Daytona, you're scrounging for what hundredths of a second there, so you could drop from first to 30th by losing a hundredth of a second. I think it's really going to be important on the short tracks and the mile and a half tracks where there's going to be a bigger gap in time. So some of these guys that may not be able to, have that short run speed to put off a good qualifying lap may have to look at what they're doing and try to increase that speed just to be able to make the race.
It's one of those patience. One of those, you've got to practice to get in. And I'm gonna tell you what, they said it, but Spencer Dewsbury, he seems like he's been practicing, and he's got him a pretty good time.
Yeah, not much fall off from practice, so maybe he wasn't in the draft when he put that time down. Actually got 3 of them up there. 3 of those, I believe all the top 3 are all Shenandoah.
Yes, they are all. And I'm pretty sure Rogers is happy with that.
I also think that there's some guys that use that first lap as a throwaway lap so they could, get that car really wound up on the top side, and then that second lap is going to be their fast lap. So we'll see where the times come out.
I can tell you right now, it's looking like it's going to come down to a Exile and Shenandoah top 5 starting.
Oh, there's Brandon Banks, shoots to P2.
And that was another team we didn't hear too much out of them last week. They just kind of laid back and laid out of it.
That's kind of what I've seen is their philosophy on super speedways is they hang out at the back till the end and then try to make their way forward. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Speaking from experience, that's definitely the chance that you take doing that. But what do they say? To finish first, you must finish. So I've always looked at it that way. Like, you know what? I think we gotta hang out back here for a little bit and let it sort itself out, and then see what we can get at the end.
We're seeing a Miller Yellow out there by the Ricky Williams, so I'm just wondering if we've got a Hardy's car and an Exxon floating around out there.
Go back to some Days of Thunder.
So, just looking back here, because you guys know me, I like my records. Previous track record here was Alex Forget Berube, and his time was a 30.035. So we're looking at the majority of the field shattered that track record tonight. So we got a very, very fast track tonight.
21 of 26 who have taken time.
Oh.
But I will say a lot of that, is due to iRacing updates on the car and whatnot,
without a doubt.
So.
I still like looking back at that stuff though.
Oh, yeah.
And see how things progress, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're about to grid up here, and we're going to get this thing rolling.
Keep on coming with facts. We may have come up with a new name for you.
Oh, I got some names within the league, but they're not stream worthy. We'll go with that.
Well, we ran a Gen 6 race at Las Vegas Sunday night, last night. And I can tell you that the cars got really squirrely on the top when you were in traffic, and I'm curious if that's going to be the same tonight with these cars on the top line at Texas. If it is, it should make for some pretty interesting racing.
A little bit of practicing that I did here, obviously, by myself in this session, because you and I are both ghosted in, Tony. I was experimenting a little bit. And even outside of traffic, they definitely do have a little bit of that Gen 6 characteristic from last night where it feels like you have all the grip in the world right up until the point where it says, nope, now you're going to die. So...
Well, and for a car that is notoriously tight, I was quite surprised at how loose the car would get on the bottom of turn 3 and 4. So that may catch some people off guard as well. And once again, if you're in dirty air, that may change it even more, where you come in loose and then you get in dirty air and the car snaps tight, and then you're probably going right into the inside or the outside wall. So we'll see how it plays out tonight. It should be rather interesting to see what these cars do in clean air versus dirty air.
Well, they're taking a little bit slow time. It seems like the start their engines ain't really got it in gear yet.
Yeah, I think we're waiting on maybe some people to grid here.
It's looking like Isaac, Ricky, Davey, and Joey and Cedric. It's not gridded in yet.
Well, Davey and Matt won't grid. They're the admins, but a couple of them may have waited till the last minute, but they're rolling now. And along with all that, the stage is kind of in an interesting spot, I feel. Its stage is going to be at lap 40 of a 130 lap race. I'm not sure what the fuel load is going to look like if they're going to be able to run that, but they only have 3 additional sets of tires, so definitely going to be about conserving tires tonight. These cars, you can burn the right front off of them very easily, so you definitely got to protect that right front, keep those tires underneath you, and keep some speed for the long run.
I just jumped back in my little ghost car here, and I am not trusting iRacing on this one, saying that you can make it 60 laps on fuel.
Yeah, and I think
I think it's lying to us again,
well,
Tony.
and I think it kind of gives you a full fuel load when you're a ghost, but I think it's going to be somewhere around 36 maybe is kind of the number that's sticking in my head. It's kind of somewhere 34 to 36 is kind of what we see at mile and a halfs with the 60% fuel load. So they may have to pit before that stage. We get some cautions. Maybe they can run it long. Some people may even try and save some fuel, but we'll see what they decide to do.
They got 130 laps to figure it out.
And we're green. Side by side into turn 1. See who has the advantage. I gotta think that inside line is gonna get through the corner. Yep. Makes it through the corner pretty easy and get up to the front. But that 54 on the high line is gonna have a lot of momentum. Oh, as we got a spin.
Lost it. Pettit lost it from the lead.
Them tires was
like he's
not
got
warm.
Yeah, it looks like he just got a little bit greedy on the throttle there, I'm thinking. And may have been pinching the car down a little bit as well, just to give that 54 some room. But great job, keeping it off the inside wall, kind of just slid to a stop there. No harm, no foul. Grand got to start all the way at the back now, but Lee still has a clean car.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough to make that ground up. But with that caution, it may have just opened up the pit window for some of these guys. Maybe they can stretch it the whole stage now on fuel.
Well, and if anybody was going to have that happen to him and not have him hurt him at all, it would be Adam, because Adam is already locked into the playoffs.
Well, and he definitely got lucky there. He didn't get run over from behind.
Exactly.
That's pretty important there. Everybody was conscious of their surroundings and saw what happened, so they made sure he had plenty of room and didn't T-bone him.
And major props to him too, especially once you get down on that apron. It's pretty much like ice. You're pretty much on ice. You have no choice what the car does. But keeping it down there away from everybody, that's I guess that's what you'd call probably some of his dirt background coming into play.
I would think so. I'm not sure how much dirt Adam has run though. So, but
And
one thing I am seeing here, sorry to interrupt you, Tony,
No,
but one
you're
thing
good.
I am seeing here is quite a few cars are taking this opportunity to come down to pit road to top up, and I think the first car in the top 10 that did it was Stephen Hine. Sean Pointer came down, Colt Curry, James McRae, Josh Van Weston, Cody Riggs, Isaac Wilson, Matt Webb, Pettit, Maines, Hastings. So quite a few cars came down, as well as Michael Newbrock came down as well.
So that
So
right there kind of tells you that they don't feel that they can run the full 40 laps on fuel. So they took the opportunity to top it off and hope that that'll be enough.
Well, lose
and
position now
if
and
it does
stretch
pay off
later.
for him, if that does pay off for him, though, it's going to pay dividends big time.
Well, and I'll tell you what though, maybe this is exactly what Adam Pettit is going to need to do now, being that he's going to be all the way at the back. Maybe he's just going to ride around at the back and have that draft pull him around and save fuel. You know, maybe he's going to try to stretch it to get that track position back when everybody else comes into pits if they have to.
Strategy coming in already. We're 4 laps in.
I mean, like it's probably he's kind of in a corner now in my opinion. Like going top off there and hope that in the tank to make it to the 40 to get that track position back. Maybe salvage something out of that early spin.
Yeah, sometimes blessings come in all sorts of disguises.
I had a few more come down. Cedric Sandstrom and Ricky Williams came back down to top off again, as well as Nubra and Stephen Hine. So a lot of the guys taking every advantage just to get this thing topped off as much as humanly possible to try to make this.
Well, and the fact that we're seeing that many come down tells me that they're gonna be short, right?
Absolutely.
Now the
Yeah,
question is,
you wouldn't be giving up that good a track position if you weren't.
can the rest of these guys stretch it? I bet you everyone who did not pit is saving fuel right now, and probably those who did, probably rolling around in fourth gear, cutting the engine off, clutching it as much as they can to save a little bit extra fuel just in case.
I think guys are also banking on more. The guys that stayed out are probably banking on more cautions.
Well,
Lights,
it's like that
lights are
saying
off on the
goes:
pace truck.
caution breeds cautions. But man, it's too early to start that breeding process. But man, I can tell you what, this field, the names, you see some of the heavy hitters from the truck series that moved up. This Xfinity is, I think it's going to be just as good as last year's Xfinity class was. And those guys that went to Cup and we saw Cup that's going to be a series to watch.
I'm looking at this 28 car right now, and man, I swear I've seen that car somewhere. Maybe right here last season, driven by Greg Rogers.
I believe the torch was passed.
Tell you what, just to your point, Jeremy, there isn't a series that isn't must see. Every series that we have is just absolutely stacked
Oh,
from top to
definitely,
bottom with
definitely.
competition. It's absolutely ludicrous, and you to coin that phrase, you love to see it. You absolutely love to see it.
Yeah, it's like Zach said out there, crazy times we're in.
No doubt about it.
Moore didn't get a good jump. He got dropped down about 5 positions before they even hit the backstretch.
Well, I think the 7 car Evan Ludi, like I think he was a little late on that restart. That allowed the 54 Brandon Banks to really jump out there, but I think it checked up some of those other guys as well.
A car I'm going to be paying special attention to because he's always fast, but he's unbelievably good at saving his tires is Brandon Schaefer. Started, I believe, at the back half of the top 10, already running in 5th. I'm going to be interested to see how hard he pushes it here, especially with the fuel concerns that we have.
Yeah, Brandon Schaefer's always fast. Started 8th. A little further back than we're used to seeing him start, but I firmly believe that he'll be up at the front here pretty quick.
Oh, Vincent got a little loose down on the apron.
I was gonna say I see him down on the apron.
He may be having a little blinking problems.
Adam Pettit back up to 16th.
I was just going to say that Pettit is making a charge here. And teammate Colt Curry on his outside, just getting right out of the way. And another teammate in James McRae right in front of him. So Adam's kind of in the rocking chair right now between these two.
I believe that's Cody Riggs right behind them, isn't it?
Indeed it is.
That is Cody in his Sign Pro car that he's running tonight. Cody unveiled on social media a new paint scheme that we'll be seeing this year from Ancient World Gaming. So I'm not sure what races he's planning on running that, but that car is, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, go over to Cody's social media. That car is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, especially if you're a Riggs fan, you got to check in every week to see if he's running it or not. Let me tell you what, these times they're not falling off.
Not a whole lot. 11 laps in, probably 3 or 4 under caution. So I don't think we'll see major fall off for about another 5 laps or so. Especially, we're definitely going to see the fall off in the guys that are pushing their car just a little too hard.
And that's, I mean, I ask you right there, you know, Petty started at the front, went to the back. He's worked his way all the way up to 13th. Is his tires taking a suffrage?
I think Pettit's fast enough and good enough where he's probably minimizing that. I'm sure it's taking some, but I don't think it's too much. Definitely seeing some fast times, though. We're seeing some 30.3s, 30.2.
We've got a battle up here, third place right now. 2 laps ago, Evan Ludy and Sean Pointer came together a tiny bit in turn 3 and 4, and Brandon Schaefer was able to take advantage and scoot right on by those two.
Yeah, the field's spread out, but it's not too spread out.
Spread out enough to not have some really intense battles, but close enough where the guys are still getting draft off the cars in front of them.
Well, we got Sylvian and Colt right now going to be battling out that 14th, 15th position.
Just watching these cars, what we were experiencing in practice, Tony, they're starting to get that little bit of wiggle wobble in the center of 3 and 4. So tire wear is definitely starting to come into play for some of these guys.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to get any better.
No, I don't even think it's going to get to the point, like with some cars within the sim, they'll get loose or tight, and then they'll kind of even their way out. My experience in the Xfinity car, once it's going one way, it's gonna stay going that way, and it's just gonna get progressively worse as the
3
run goes
cars,
on.
bumper to bumper to bumper. That would be Brandon Schaefer, Sean Pointer, and I believe that was Evan Moody in the 28 car. They were right on top of each other.
Looks like Spencer Dewsbury is. I'm seeing him pull right up onto the back of Banks a few times here, but he seems pretty content. Once he gets there, he backs off a tiny bit. Seems pretty content to just ride there.
Yeah, it might be a fuel saving strategy, maybe saving a little tire as well. Seeing a lot of these cars really starting to push wide though off the corners.
One of the reasons I love this track, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are just so different. You're gonna have different handling characteristics on both ends of the track.
So 1 and 2, like the entry and all the way through the corner is really wide, right? But then it comes back together on exit. So if you get too high up the track, you're going to be in the wall. But then 3 and 4 on the exit has this transition. And if you don't hit it right, it will carry you right out into the wall. And it's almost like there's a little bump out in the wall right off of turn 4. So as these tires wear, I have a feeling we'll see some cars really get close to that and probably hit it.
As we say that, it looks like Brandon Banks has now fallen back to 3rd place in the clutches of Sean Pointer as he's looking low here off of turn 4. Spencer Dewsbury out there in the lead and has a pretty decent lead out there, almost 3/4 of a second over 2nd place Brandon Schaefer.
Yeah, I think Sean Pointer just scraped the wall a little bit, but I think Brandon Banks got trapped in that outside lane, and I don't think the speed is there yet. He's fighting to get back down to the bottom, gets back down to the bottom. We'll see what he can do.
Well, Banks is always one of those drivers, just because he's down, don't mean he's out. We've seen him drive through the field on quite several occasions last season. So,
Well, and we're seeing more and more people wash up in the corner, and that's going to open the door for him. 28, the 00, they both kind of missed the bottom of the corner and got a little wide. And when a driver does that, if you can hook that bottom, you can just stick your nose right underneath them and really gain a little bit there.
he seems to be able to still stick it on that white line.
I think he might be playing a little bit of possum, going, okay, you know what? I've got a few laps led. Pace is a little bit too high for what I want to do right now.
And that's very possible, and it's probably the fuel, right? You're out front, you don't have that draft pulling you, you're burning a little bit more fuel than everybody else. You fall back a little bit, get in that draft, and save a little bit.
Ludi is still hounding Pointer. I'll tell you what, not from lack of effort that he's not in front of Sean Pointer right now. That boy has looked high, low, up, down. He's looked every way but through.
Spencer, he's up over 1.2 seconds right now, so definitely got a really comfortable lead. Now, if I'm him, I'm just managing that gap, right? Not pushing my car too much, but just trying to keep that gap where it's at, not give up anymore, not take anymore.
I was just gonna say that is the best feeling in the world when you have a little bit over a second gap. You can manage the race, and I know you guys have heard me say that before. You get out there and then you manage the race. Don't go and try to run away. Do just enough to maintain it and make them come get you.
Oh, I tell you what, though, it is bunched up from 2nd place back to about 10th place. They are all right there, which tells me their guys in 2nd, 3rd, 4th are burning up their tires, and the guys, a little further back have saved a little bit. So now they've come together, and if we're going to have any mayhem, that's probably where it's going to come from.
And look who's actually at just about the tail of this bunch up here.
Made a nice move to the bottom. That's Adam Pettit.
All the way from the back, and I'm going to give it about 20 laps, has driven up to the front. And like we said, it didn't look like he was trying to be too aggressive. So he might have been able to do that and save those tires where he now has something to contend with these guys. But he's also got the extra fuel load. This could be a fact of, some of our front runners that didn't hit are now in fuel conservation mode, trying to make it to that stage without having to pit. And Pettit's going, well, I got all the fuel in the world. Let's go.
Well, and with that big battle we have for second through what, 10th?
Yeah, just about.
Spencer Dewsbury has been able to pull that gap out to 2.5 seconds.
Wonder if Spencer's going to start clutching it at this point.
Well, 13 laps to go. We're gonna see. But yeah, there's one big group there, and then everybody else is kind of spaced out a little bit. You know, a couple guys are single file, but car width in between them. But this group here for second is really where all the action's at.
45 and 20 got real close there on the entry to turn 3.
Them guys, no room for error whatsoever right now.
No, absolutely not. And points are going to be so crucial in this series this season, in all of our series. In the past, we've kind of been able to be like, okay, you know what, I'll get what I can get on the stage. But as Tony has said in the past, we've had guys miss the playoffs by 1 point. I don't think, it's ever been more crucial to get that 1 point because the competition level, like I said earlier, it's through the roof this season.
That large group from second to about 10th has kind of gotten single filed out, and they're starting to reel Spencer back in. That gap's down to 2.3 seconds. So we'll see if they continue to battle or if they decide to single file out and just start trying to reel in that leader. I don't think anybody's really going to be willing to do that. I think they're going to continue to battle as their cars let them, as the tires let them. But I think it's going to be pretty minimal. I think a lot of these guys are going to go single file just because their cars, the tires are worn so much that they really don't have an option here.
One thing I'm also noticing is in 1 and 2, Pointer looks like he's trying to run that second lane up. And I don't know if that is because of tire wear and the car just won't cut down to the bottom of the track, which actually now looks like he's trying to get back down there, but it looks like the car is just washing up. So I think Sean may have burned that right front off on this initial run.
Yeah, and that's kind of concerning because we do see him getting a little wider quite often. It seems like more so in 1 and 2 than in 3 and 4. But eventually that car is just not going to turn anymore, and he's either going to have to get off the throttle or he's going to be in the outside wall.
Good thing for me, I kept the extra sheet metal guys on payroll since Daytona.
But Brandon Schaefer has really cut into that lead. He's now behind Spencer 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, but don't look now. Who's on that charge? Adam. He's back up to 4th, and I don't think he's going to be happy unless he gets a top 3.
Yeah, I think it's doable for him to maybe get all the way up to maybe even second, but he's going to have to hope Brandon Banks and Brandon Schaefer make a little mistake and he can get underneath them to make those moves, because this late in the run, I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of maneuverability in your car.
Adam, last time by, was the fastest car on track. So, but not by much, maybe just about a 10th.
And there's a pretty big gap now between Brandon Banks and Brandon Schaefer, so I think now would be the opportune time to do it. If he can get underneath Brandon Banks, I think he would have some as Schaefer takes the lead.
Yeah, looks like Dewsbury just came up the track and let him go.
I think he burned up his tires, or he's trying to stretch the fuel till the end. He pushed it a little too hard, now he's got to conserve.
That's personally what I'm thinking, because it looks like he's just letting everybody go around.
Well, maybe he is going to have to pit, and now he's in a really bad spot because he's on the top.
Traffic is coming.
To get to the bottom, he's going to have to fall in somewhere 10th, 11th place. They are stacked up back there. almost 4 wide there for a minute.
Spencer stays out another lap. So I think he may be trying to stretch it. He may have just burned up a little bit too much.
I
As Pettit
figure.
makes the move on Banks. So I don't think this battle is over here just yet, ladies and gentlemen, for this stage win.
Well, and it seems like that gap to Schaefer is getting smaller and smaller. He was
yeah.
about a half a second out on Banks and Pettit, and last time by it was under 3/10, and that was with Pettit making a pass.
Just watching the center speed there in 3 and 4 between Pettit and Banks looked like Pettit was shot out of a cannon.
Well, I'll tell you what, if these guys aren't going to make it on fuel, they're going to get a penalty because pit road is closed with 2 laps to go before the stage as we see Pettit stick it on the inside.
Yeah, Pettit's pretty much threw everything at him except the kitchen sink, and he's got one more lap, and he may pull it out.
Well, I know Schaefer's really going to try to defend it.
He's
and
in.
I don't know what the good
He's
defensive
in.
line is right now.
Yeah, that would be the defense right there.
Yeah, really pinching him down to the bottom.
Pitch him down to the bottom and make him lift. Give him the choice. You're either going to lift or we're going to wreck. But Pettit with a huge run through the center of the corner. We'll see if he can make it work off.
No, Schaefer took that line away, and that's going to check him up. Probably tighten that car up a little bit, and just
Schaefer's going to end up with the win.
Well, it looks like everybody made it on fuel.
Great run to the end there, though.
There was some really good battling during that stage. I hope we see some more of it.
Now, the unfortunate part is Spencer Dewsbury, who led, I would say probably about the majority of that stage there, fell all the way back to 18th place.
Yeah, just pushed a little too hard and burned up those tires. I assume he'll probably learn from that and maybe take it a little easier. He's got the speed, at least in the short term. But can he get back to the front and then save those tires a little bit more?
We swap over stages. We're going to give a shout back out again. Some of those sponsors to pay the bills around here. And we'll be right back. Stage 2 here down in Texas. Well, 43 in the books, and I'm really expecting the next 90 is not going to be too much different.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we missed under commercial was Adam Pettit having that pole got him back out to the front as he was able to beat Brandon Schaefer out of pit road.
Yeah, I think them two right there is where it may come down to, Tony.
Well, I think that those two are definitely going to be a battle till the end, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these other guys. You know, can Sean Pointer save those tires a little more and be able to wrap that bottom better? You know, we saw Spencer up there for quite a while. Do we get a late race caution? And he's got a set of fresh tires left. He has the short run speed for sure. You know, there's some wild cards out there that I think could definitely change this up should, you know, the race fall their way.
It's just going to be wild to see how it all plays out.
One to go this time by. The lights are out on the pace truck. See if Adam Pettit can clean up that little mistake he had on the first restart and keep that car out front this time. Make it a little easier on him.
Yeah, because if he hadn't had to fight through the field to get back where he was at, I think he might have been a little bit further up. He could have had that stage, possibly won.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind about that. If he wouldn't have made that mistake, he probably would have gapped a lot of these guys.
That being said, though, let me play devil's advocate. Working through the field like that might have forced him to be a little bit more patient and a little bit more conservative and pick his spots very wisely. It'll be interesting. Granted, clean air will always help you. Clean air is king. But it'll be very interesting to see if he can go ahead and save the tires as well.
Well, if nothing else, it was a huge confidence boost for him, right? He was able to climb back to the field. You know.
No, when you do that, you feel like Superman.
Right.
No doubt about it.
Pettit got a good launch.
Great.
These guys are going at it again. 3 wide down through the back stretch.
Wide. Nixon, Pointer, and the 28 car were 3 wide going in the corner there. I think the loser on that deal was that. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Colt Curry. No, that is Pointer. My bad.
Yep. Pointer's in the pink and Colt is in the highlighter.
They changed numbers on me. I'm a little off. We'll get it. But yeah, I think he kind of lost out on that deal. Lost probably 3 spots, probably lifted just to save his car. Not a bad decision at that point early in the run.
Well, and I think Sean is very good at learning throughout the race, and I think he realized what he did in the last stage, those last 10 laps were hell for him. So I think Sean was probably of the attitude of, you know what, boys, y'all go on and y'all have fun. I'll see you back here in about 20 laps.
Tell you what though, that 33 car has figured out that high side at least early in the run. He's able to really make that work. Wider corner takes more time to get through the corner, but the speed he carries off is pretty good. I'm curious to see if that'll save tire in the long run.
Ethan Collier and Nathan Nixon had a little bump in on the backstretch. It looks like Ethan was the short end of that stick.
I saw the 45 down on the apron. I didn't see what happened, but they were going straight again, so must not have been too bad. Ooh, 7 car into the wall. Pretty hard. Coming off of turn 4, hit that little bump out.
What's interesting to me is it looks like Brandon Schaefer is back way, way off. Where Adam Pettit and Brandon Banks look like they're going for gold right now.
Well, and that may be a strategy.
Banks in the fence.
That may be a strategy here, because we just seen them run, what, 37 laps under green, right? They went in the first stage. So they went green at about lap 43. Can they one-stop it? Maybe they're going to try and save that extra fuel, save that extra tires, and try to just go one more pit stop. The guys that are going flat out, they may need 2 pit stops. Adam Pettit out to a half a second lead.
I look now, but a wild Colt Curry has entered the fray into the top 5.
Yeah, kind of right in that mix there, isn't he?
Colt started all the way back in 17th, and he's pulled his exiled teammate. Caution out.
Somebody's just blew up. I think that may have been. I'm not sure who it was. It was Sam Sundstrom. He went off on the track. Not for sure if. But he's still out there. Right.
He was down in the infield.
Oh, actually, it happened in front of him. It looks like.
Thinking it may have been Spencer because he just disconnected.
Yes, it was. It looks like the 21, at least on my screen. Blinked out there. Josh Van Weston and Sam entered the corner
Net-coded.
like he usually would.
Yep.
And got net coded right off of the 21, came down, and it looks like what other cars were those?
11 was in it.
Yeah, the 11
bit.
and
5.
Yep. Looks like Jared, yeah. Jared is that Jared McCauley? Yes, Jared McCauley took the worst of that one.
Oh, yeah, and he's running the wrong number.
Yes, he is. That was throwing me off there a little bit.
Well, I saw it right about the time Sam.
Stuck in the wall, it looked like.
So, interesting strategy call here. So, we had, looks like about half the field come down and take this opportunity to come down and get fuel. Pettit, Cavett, Colt Curry, James McRae, Penley, Nixon, Collier, and Hine all stayed out. First of your cars that pitted will be Brandon Banks.
Yeah, Chad, we had some net coding, I believe. It's not letting me show the replay because I think they DC'd or jumped to the pits before. Yeah, it's completely kicking them out.
Yeah, I believe it was the 42 that or 21. 21 blinked out. Was that what happened?
Yeah, it did look like it. It looked like Van Westen blinked out and then reappeared.
As the 7 car
And
was
it's
close to him
taking
and the
him.
net code got him.
Yeah, it looks like he was completely gone, and the 7 came down to take the normal racing line. And when he got within millimeters of him, Van Westen reappeared, and it just grenaded him off, unfortunately.
There it is.
Yeah, go to the 7 car so it doesn't blink out there maybe.
It was still it threw the cameras and everything off on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Williams involved in that one.
Yeah, Ricky Williams, Jared McCulley.
Poor Jared took a hell of a lick up into that turn 4 wall.
Spencer his right front tires hanging off to the side.
Well, he just regathered his hood and his front bumper. Williams don't look like he got too much damage out of that.
It would be just on the right front fender, I think. That's where he hit him.
Now this is going to get interesting on pit strategy here with everybody, but I believe the top 8 coming down and getting fuel and topping off. It's
Yeah,
going to be very interesting to see how pit strategy works out here and who's going to
what
be in the
is
good
going
spot.
on now? 76
Man.
is cutting his engine off and falling back way too much. But I imagine the first one off of pit road was probably the 54 Brandon Banks, would be my assumption.
Yes, Brandon Banks was the first off of pit road, and everybody behind him has pit and taken fuel.
Yeah, Donut, we had to track it down ourselves too.
Lights are off on the pace truck and pulls off.
Adam Pettit controls the restart here. 76 laid back quite a bit. That's really going to stack up that outside lane.
Yes, it is.
That
Almost like maybe it was on the wrong gear or something.
Looks like Schaefer wasn't bunched up that well either, so pretty good stack up all the way back through. Gonna allow Colt Curry to jump up into second place and Penley up into third.
Yeah, Colt's kind of getting hounded by Penley right now.
Yes, he is. Getting pushed down the front straightaway, actually. As McGrath moves down to the bottom,
76
there they
goes
go.
around into the
76 up into the
54.
wall.
Took out the 30, the 30. So took out like 3 or 4 cars there.
Man.
And it looked to me like that was caused by the 8. He slid down in front of somebody there. I didn't see who it was and kind of just checked him up.
Ooh, that was a rough one.
Slid down in front of the 77 of McRae, I'm sorry, and checked the 76 up, and let's see here, the 45 of Collier just could not check up in time. And calamity ensues. Quite a few cars got a piece of that.
So I think we moved from chili pepper spicy to maybe something a little hotter.
Yeah, I'm thinking we might be getting into habanero. Cedric got involved in that one Banks, Cavett. Vachon got a big piece of it.
Sounds like
Ooh.
21 may have blown an engine.
5
Yep.
involved.
The 5 of Sam Gordon got involved in that one.
The actual 5.
Yep, the actual 5 of Sam Gordon.
Yeah. Tony may need to be checked in. Took a couple hard hits on that one.
It's Tejas.
Yeah, and that's all it takes is one little checkup. When the dominant line is the one line, one little checkup is all it takes to kind of set that off. Especially if it happens towards the front and they're still stacked up, somewhat from the restart.
So now, does this caution now throw that strategy of coming down in that first pit stop? Does that throw that completely out the window now?
I don't know. I don't think so. Because I think the guys who didn't pit have made their bed, right? If they go back now, they're going to be starting way at the back. So they got to stay out longer, I think, and hope for another caution or that it cycles through so everybody else still has to stop at least once. You don't want to be, like in Adam Pettit's case, right? You don't want to be going from the lead back to, 20th?
Well,
Because everybody behind you pitted,
That being said, though, and it looks like actually, I was just looking through the field. Looks like that's exactly what Schaefer and who is this? Evan Ludy. That's exactly what they did. They did come down for fuel on this caution. But that being said, we watched Adam Pettit be able to drive from the back to the front, so it is doable.
It is, but I mean, you still have one more stop, right? You can't go 70 laps.
Yeah, no shot.
So really, all you're doing is pushing that pit stop further back into the race. It may be a winning strategy. I think the safer bet for the guys up front who haven't pitted was definitely to stay out and not put yourself in harm's way. But should it cycle out, the guys that pit now won't have to pit till later, and they'll have fresher tires should it go green. Now, if we get a caution in 20 laps, I think that all that strategy is out the window. Everybody's coming for fuel and tires. But I think if it goes green, it could work out. But I don't know. I don't see it.
I hate to say it, I don't see it staying green.
I don't either.
This is Texas, baby. It's we're seeing the aggression level going up here quite rapidly, and we're not even at halfway yet. So, I think we're in for a few more cautions here.
Well,
What have we had? Three for cause and one for stage.
yep.
Yep.
And everything down in Texas is always bigger, so temps are going to be flaring a whole lot more.
Well, and I think the longer. Let me rephrase that. I think the more restarts we have, the more cautions we're going to see. If we get a long green flag run, I think it will probably be pretty mild going forward, unless we get like that late race restart.
Looks like we're one to go here. I don't see any blinky blinkies on the pace truck.
Tell you what, I run into a lot of those lots driving through Atlanta.
Oh, the blinky blinkies?
Blinky blinkies are everywhere. And you know what? The 45 of Collier, he's missing his whole backside, looks like.
Pace truck is off. We're about to go green again. Adam Pettit controls the restart. big
jump
launch there.
again.
22 didn't go, kind of checked up that outside line again.
Looks like he spun the tires.
Yeah,
pretty good.
that's what I was fixing to say. It looked like he spun him because that back end squirmed a little bit.
And this is where I'm going to start getting nervous because there's a whole lot of exiled in this top 10 right now.
I'd be a little leery around that 45. I don't know what effect missing that rear bumper is going to have, if that's going to loosen the car up or tighten the car up, but it's definitely going to have some effect. And I think if you're on the outside line, you're hoping that it doesn't tighten the car up.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Stephen Hine wait around too long to find out. He's looking like he's looking for any which way to get around him.
Yeah,
It looks like it's affecting straightaway speed more than anything. It looks like it's almost acting like a big parachute.
Well, I didn't look at the car too close to see if any of the fenders were pushed out, but I would think that it would actually help the straightaway speed, but obviously that's not the case.
You would think, but one thing I've learned from 13 years on the service and iRacing, a lot of things work backwards. And it
Yeah,
looks like the front of the car is dead clean for Collier. He may have some engine damage though. Also, we don't know.
yeah, he's getting freight trained to the inside. I think he knows he's down on speed, so he's just gonna stay to the high side and let him go, and just hope that he's got something at the end. Maybe some more of these cars wreck out or something.
Back up front, Colt Curry is starting to hound Mr. Penley.
I think he might owe him one or two.
I know from previous experience, before we brought Colt onto the team, me and Colt were, we'll just say we were friends. And me and my friend over there had a few spicy moments. Colt is definitely one that is not afraid to get aggressive. North Wilkesboro from 2 seasons comes to mind. That boy right there drove that car in turn 1. Past I lost my baseball, and past I saw Jesus, and almost made it stick.
That 45 car has dropped back to 15th place. Definitely affecting his speed.
I'm not going to say that. Go ahead, Bobby.
I was going to say another one we haven't spoken too much about tonight, but is about to break into the top 5 here as he's looking underneath Stephen Hine, working him over, is Isaac Wilson.
Yeah, that's what I was
making a charge.
But I was fixing to say. I wasn't going to say the name. I was just going to say that spotlighted driver.
That's where I was about to go with it too. Isaac Wilson, our weekly spotlight driver. Check it out on Facebook, Instagram, and social media, or X, our social media pages. Read up about Isaac Wilson a little bit and check out his car.
Proud co-commentator for the Truck and Cup Series.
Hey, Miss Weeks.
Hey, there's Miss Weeks. There's my boss lady. I gotta behave myself now, guys.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna end up getting into troubles.
Well, it seems like Adam Pettit is not jumping out to as much of a lead as I kind of expected. I think the 8 and the 22 are keeping him honest here. Or he's saving.
Could be a thing of managing that gap, and I got to chuckle to myself here, take my team owner hat and put my broadcaster hat on. I specifically remember Adam saying, playing with house money and just try to help the field. Well, looks like he's trying to win 2 in a row here.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's be real. If you're out front, you got to go for it.
Oh, right? Absolutely. I can't fault the guy, but...
Now, maybe if you and a teammate are battling side by side, you give them a little more room, maybe lift a little early, but if you're faster than the field, you got to take it. Take advantage of that when you can.
Oh, absolutely. And as Jeremy said, we had, some hot shoes that came up from ARCA and Truck last year, and Adam Pettit is one of them, James McRae as well as Stephen Hine, and Sean Pointer, all these guys running well within the top 10. You know, these are all guys that came up from ARCA and Truck last season, included as well as Penley. I believe Penley was in ARCA and Truck last year as well. So
Penley was pretty dominant in trucks
yes, he
for
was.
quite a while. Pettit and McRae seemed like they were battling each week in ARCA for the win.
Hey, somebody that's recovered is Williams. He's broken to the top 10 after that little fiasco about 20, 30 laps back.
Yeah, sitting in 10th, hounding the 6th car right now, Michael Newbraw.
You look a little bit farther back, Brandon Schaefer is running in 12th place. Doesn't look like he's pushing too hard. So I think we're definitely seeing those guys commit to the, you know, can we make it on the one more stop and try to run it as long as we can, like you said, Tony. So that way, when you do go in for that stop, you have as little laps as possible. So then you go out there and you just run the absolute dog out of that car.
Well, I feel like it's going to depend on your strong point, right? If you're faster on the shorter run, nice save.
Nixon plowed the wall coming off of turn 4. Almost took Schaefer with him.
But if you're faster on the shorter run, then absolutely you're going to run it long. But if you're faster on the longer run, maybe you come in the same time as the guys who did not pit and take less time fueling the car.
That little battle for third, Isaac's worked his way on up. Sitting in P3, got around Curry and McRae.
Yeah, it looks like Colt Curry really fell off there. He was up there battling with Nathan Penley for quite a while, and it seems like he's just kind of dropping. Maybe abuse those tires a little bit.
And it's so easy to do in dirty air, you know, because once you get in that dirty air, it just starts shoving that front end, and it takes a lot of patience. Go ahead, Jeremy. My favorite word, patience. But it takes a lot of it in dirty air to really take care of that right front tire and not as much as wear it, but get it hot. Once you get that right front tire hot, that's when you really start seeing the tire degradation really compound and speed up.
Tire gets greasy, starts sliding up the track and just wearing itself out.
Yep, it starts yelling at you, going, "No more, Uncle, pineapples, I quit."
They don't belong on pizza.
No, okay, I'm gonna put it right. I'm gonna put it out here right now. Deep dish is not pizza, and pineapples don't belong on pizza. That's from the North Jersey guy. Roast me in the comment section.
I think those people in Chicago may have to argue with you about the deep dish being a pizza.
Hey, I get it. They need their tomato casserole. It gets cold in Chicago. I get it.
I'm a thin and crispy guy myself.
There you go.
Exactly.
Nothing better than a bar pie.
I'm with you on that one, Tony. Especially the Domino's, thin and crispy, square
That
cuts.
ain't real pizza.
Yeah.
Domino's, that ain't real pizza. Get out of here with that.
If it's got sausage and mushrooms on it, I'll eat it.
Okay, yeah, we can't be friends no more. I don't know about those mushrooms.
No. The fungus is among us. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, come on. Anything's got to beat MREs that poor Tony had to eat. So you know.
Yeah.
If I'm eating mushrooms, they ain't gonna be on a pizza. I can tell you that much.
Barkley, you mind your business.
Even Barkley's agreed with me. No mushrooms. No fungus is among us.
I will tell you what. I was in a Discord channel. I was gonna brag about these delicious stuffed portobello mushrooms I made. And out of 8 people in that Discord channel, only 1 liked mushrooms, and that was me.
Did you get voted off the island?
I thought there was gonna be some mutiny, but
I was gonna say he's lucky I wasn't there. I would have went after him with a pitchfork.
I'm gonna tell you what, the 49 and 45s into each other. They fixing to exchange some pineapples here in a minute.
47 laps to go.
So one thing I'm noticing here, Brandon Schaefer is working his way through traffic, and last time by was quicker than our leader. Not by much, but he is quicker than our leader right now.
Another
Brandon
thing
has worked
I
his
see-
way up to ninth, now eighth. No, seventh. Two
Another
cars
thing
in
I
one lap.
see is that 22 is dropping. And he is tight. You can see it in the corner. He just slid up into the 6, missed the bottom completely. He has burned out that right front. Slides back to 9th place.
Yeah, about to be ninth place here. Looks like
As he clips the apron. He's going into pits.
He's hitting. He said enough. Enough is enough,
That's
Uncle.
56 laps. 56 laps. He's going to have to stop again. I don't think he can make it on fuel.
I think at this point he's going to have to hope for a caution. But at the rate that he was falling, I think his hands were somewhat tied there on what can you do.
And even he is going to go at least one lap down. Let's be real.
Oh, 100%.
But the only cars that are not on the lead lap are at least 10 laps down. So, well, now we got that's Cole.
We have a few more that just came down. McRae came down. Penley came down. So it looks like we're going to start seeing cars pit here. The cars that did not come down under that caution.
So now he's going to be battling with those guys for that lucky dog spot, right? Should the caution come out. 89's coming in, looks like.
Isaac's leading him another lap out there. And Bobby, you may want to check. I just got a notification saying Petty jumped to the pits. He didn't enter him, he jumped to them.
Yeah, let's take a peek. I do not see any black flags.
Yep, no black flag as of yet.
Got a few meatball flags, but no blacks.
Just for my own sanity, I'm going to go back and watch that pit entry.
This is going to get interesting, though, because now we got people on really old tires and we got people on fresh tires. So
it was aggressive. I'll tell you that much. But who had more of an aggressive pit entry is the 8 of Penley. Penley almost lost it coming on the pit road. He wrecked about 4 times. He just didn't hit anything.
So iRacing right now is showing Stephen Hine being in the Lucky Dogs. Oh, just kidding. It updated. Adam Pettit is now in the Lucky Dog spot. 1 lap down and slicing through traffic.
And I just lost it too in the tri-oval.
Oh no.
Kept it under control, but lost a lot of positions off that one.
Is going to try to unlap himself the hard way. He has gotten past the 42 and the 28, working on Cody Riggs in 5th. He's going to try to unlap himself the hard way. 1 lap down, but if he was on the lead lap, he'd be running in the 4th position right now, so he's close.
Now, Sean Pointer, who is running in 3rd spot right now, was one of those cars that did not hit. It'd be interesting to see how long he can go. I would have to assume he's getting pretty close because we saw, about 37 laps was possible on a tank. And we went back green at, lap 60... No. We went back green lap 43 with a few cautions.
We had that caution at lap 63. Maybe 63.
He's still got to be just about on fumes as Pettit goes whizzing by him.
Pettit has caught up to 2nd place.
And Schaefer just lets him go.
I mean, no sense in fighting.
Yeah,
brand new
no.
tires. It's not going to end well. Pettit's going to set his eyes on that 93 Isaac Wilson and try to unlap himself the hard way. Should a caution come out, I imagine he'll probably have him in about 2 laps. Working that bottom line, and these guys are getting tight on those old tires, and he's able to keep it down in the bottom. Going to make that pass coming to the start-finish line. Back on the lead lap.
Theoretically, I think these guys are going to need a caution, though, to make it without having to make that second stop. I don't think that they're going to be able to stretch it.
I agree. I think the guys that just pitted should be close to okay. They may have to save a little bit, but I think Pettit, I think those guys can make it. I think the guys that stopped earlier are still going to have to pit one time when they topped off under caution. And for that to be realistic, they would need a caution for that to happen. Otherwise, they're going to end up a lap down as well.
Well, and if you're Pettit, why not take that chance as Isaac comes into the pits? But for Pettit, why not take the chance? You're already locked in the playoffs.
Right. Well, and I think he's on the smart strategy. I think the other guys were on that risky strategy, right? They needed the stars to align for that to work out for them. They would need that later race caution, 10, 15, 20 laps to go to pretty much draw everybody back in.
Mm-hmm.
But the way the race is going right now, I don't know if we're going to see that. I mean, Pettit's already back up to, 12th? Something like that?
Something like that. I'm looking right now. It's showing him in 13.
Yeah, I think it'll update at the line here. I think.
Yeah, with Isaac pitting, he should be at minimum 12.
Yeah. Maybe 11th or 10th. Not sure when those guys pitted, but I think at the line we're going to see it. Oh, 10th. 11 cars on the lead lap. Looks like Nathan Penley was able to get back around and get back on the lead lap as well. That's going to put James McRae as the first car 1 lap down. Should that caution come out, he would get the lucky dog.
It seems like everybody's pretty much spread out.
Adam Pettit jumped all the way back up to 5th. 6 cars on the lead lap.
And as much of a swing as we're seeing here, that pendulum effect, once Schaefer and Webb, William Moore, and Ludi pit, you're going to see that pendulum go the other way.
Yeah, we'll probably see 18, 19, 20 cars on the lead lap once those guys pit, but they won't have to pit for quite a while, I think. I think they could probably realistically run it out to, lap 110, 115?
I would say more than likely yes. Now, here's the thing. Yes, they will have the fresher tires.
Coming in now.
I was going to say, and was the point I was going to make, even with those fresher tires, are you giving yourself enough laps to make up that time that you're losing right now as Pettit is flying around the track on those fresh tires running, I would say, at least a second faster than you are, a lap.
Well, and I think what you lose on the long run staying out on tires is more significant than what you give up by pitting earlier, because we're seeing over a second and a half, almost 2 seconds of fall off. But right now we saw that pendulum swing back we're going to have probably, right now Pettit cycled to the lead. We have 18 cars on the lead lap.
I'd be interested to see what our overall gap from Pettit to Schaefer is in second. because we're at 30 to go, coming to 29 to go right now. So Saturday night short track feature length, is he going to make up all this time?
Man, it's showing me 18 seconds difference, and I just don't know if that's something you can gain. I mean, yeah, 18.3 last time around with,
He's closed it down to 17 coming on this lap.
but you know,
17-2, yep.
29 laps to go. Those tires are eventually going to even out, right? He's going to gain quite a bit early, but eventually
Exactly.
it's going to even out. I think that's way too much of an obstacle to overcome right now, unless the caution were to come out.
Well,
Kind of like
Schaefer's,
between Brandon Park and Schaefer at the championship race at Dover,
Right.
where Park was able to close quite a bit, but it got to a certain point where Park, say that 10 times fast, just chewed up the tires, and they evened out and even started swinging the other way, where Brandon was able to, as we say, maintain that gap and then started pulling back away again.
Well, and kind of a bad situation to be in for some of those guys that pitted, right? Because if you baby it too much, you're not going to close that gap, but you're going to have more speed overall. But you really want to push right now. You got fresh tires, the car's feeling the best it has. You're going to try and get everything you can out of it, but you're also going to hurt those tires rather quickly.
Schaefer's got him down to 14.
Yeah, I think he's still in that early stage. I think another 5 or 10 laps, and you're going to see that kind of really that gain is really going to get smaller and smaller. So he'll still gain some, but he's not going to gain at the rate he is. And Pettit's got to be a little conservative, right? He's got to run almost 40 laps. I think it's like 37, so he can't push the tires real hard either. Otherwise, it's going to kill him in the long run.
Right there, Schaefer gained about 7/10. So we're seeing those seconds now drop down into the tenths of a second already.
But with that, Schaefer was also battling with a lap car, so that may have affected that gap a little bit. He was side by side with the 52 going through the corner, so that definitely costed him a tenth or two.
Ooh, Kvet out there thinking top 3 can't make it 45.
I don't recall what lap they pitted on, but that number seems a little off to me.
86, lap 85 and 86.
So call it 43 probably.
So in theory, that would put
Oh, there it is.
Isaac
Caution fixing to come out.
Caution.
Well, that's going to even it up, right? Because I think
Oh.
everybody's got to come in here.
Riggs.
Oh,
And Matt
Cody.
Webb.
Webb involved. Riggs. Nowhere to go, it didn't look like.
I didn't see
Looks
what
like-
happened at 52
Looks like Webb and Colt. Looks like the 52 just drifted up over the nose of Colt, thinking he had a little bit more room, and then slid up the track, and Cody just literally nowhere to go. Mega cram for Cody Riggs. Unfortunately, a great run for Cody tonight comes to an end with that.
I would say that in the 52's defense, I feel like he expected the 22 to be a little higher on the track. There was a good
Yes.
car width there, so
And it looked like, because I was keeping an eye on Colt, it looked like Colt was struggling with his tires again with that right front. He's been It's been having issues with that right front all night.
And now the
Oh,
question is,
well, shifted back up the track. Got a couple involved in that one.
yeah, I didn't see him lock down his brakes, and that's something that we strongly encourage here, and I don't think that happened.
And yeah, I have just went back and re-looked at it. Yeah, Colt was definitely a good lane and a half, actually, almost 2 lanes down the track.
At least a full car width.
At least a full car width.
Cody's luck, fortunately, continues.
Yeah, 100%.
This is really going to shift things up for me. I was talking about going 44, 43 laps. They ain't got to do it no more.
So looks like we had multiple stay out though. Michael Newbra,
The new
William
route pitted.
Moore, Evan Ludi, and Isaac. So are we looking at different tire strategies then if they did come in and pit?
Yeah, I definitely
looking at
saw
new
the
tires?
6 pit.
But that could stack things up as well up here.
I'm gonna go back and look and see if the 6 took 2 or 4.
Isaac is being shown as our race leader right now.
6 only took left sides, which is
It's interesting.
well, maybe that's all he had left. Maybe he did a 2-stop earlier or a 2-tire earlier. But I did not see the right side of that car go up in the air.
Looks like Isaac did not come in.
Yeah, Isaac, Evan, and William, they stayed out.
They stayed out on old tires.
That is going to be interesting.
That's gonna go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna get spicy. Those 3 are gonna hold up these guys on fresh tires. I maybe they're out of tires and that's why they stayed out. I'm not sure, but I think they're definitely gonna make it interesting.
I think we're not at spicy. We are now at muy caliente.
Well, I'm looking at it. It looks like Isaac's only pitted 4 times as compared to Evan and William, and Newbra's all pitted 5. So,
Yeah, but some of those guys took fuel only. They only have 3 additional sets of tires. So if Isaac pitted 4 times, he's used up all 3 sets of tires more than likely. I don't recall seeing him do a fuel only stop. Here in Black Flag on Pit Road. EOL for Nathan Nixon. But this is definitely going to make it interesting. We'll see if these guys can get through the traffic or if we have another caution.
Isaac out on the backstretch, bunny hopping that car a little bit, trying to search and see where the grip's going to be on launch. It's always a smart thing to do. At least be prepared to know how hard, not whether it's going to spin, but how hard is it going to spin.
Well, and I'm going to go back and see when he last pitted, but those tires are pretty dang old.
Yeah, they're whooped.
Well, it's been more of a caution-free race than we actually expected.
Yeah, I think that's all going to change right about now. Isaac spun the tires, but still got a good launch. Able to maintain. 46 kind of got checked up there. That may have just been a conservation deal there. Didn't want to launch too early and run those guys over.
It's a hard word to say sometimes.
But they are 3 wide.
Oh, I can't look, Jeremy.
Oh, I'll look for you. Isaac's going to have him a hornet's nest to hold off.
Yes, he is.
Because you've got Newbrow, Pettit, Pointer, Schaefer.
And there's a lot of. There's the caution.
And the caution's out again.
Vincent Vaughn, Cedric, Sylvian, the Canadians. Look like they just took each other out.
Thinking that happened somewhere towards the back.
And I'll tell you who did not want to see that caution was Isaac Wilson. Because now they get to re-rack him. Isaac had a little bit of breathing room there because Pettit, Pointer, Schaefer were all kind of trapped there behind the 6 car of Michael Newbrow. The only ones that were able to, only one that fresh tires that was able to get loose was McRae.
So that was a really interesting series of events there, Jeremy.
Yeah, because it started with the looks like the 20. I'm going to say the 22 or the 33, 27, and it just.
Well, I think it even happened.
The 8 involved right there on the trial.
Yeah. Got into, I can't see who that is, in 89, Stephen Hine. That kind of checked him up. 33 dropped low. And the 29 got into the wall. 33 ran him over and turned him down into the 36.
Yeah, 36. Both of them locked up, had nowhere to go. Just slid straight up the track. Took out their teammate amongst it.
Yep, 30 in it. And I think all of that started from that slight little fender bang from the 8 and the 89. It caused everybody to get out of their groove and kind of caused that, I believe it was the 27 car, to get in the wall there.
But yeah, Bobby, like you said, Isaac did not want that because he had a pretty comfortable jump right there, but it just went away now.
Yeah, and I mean, Isaac has a tall order regardless of whether that stayed green or the caution came out. Isaac's got the fight of his life on his hands right now. But this did not help matters for him whatsoever.
But it is clicking down the laps. So
That
they get a
is
couple
true.
more quick cautions. That may actually fall right into Isaac's hands. If this goes green, the 6 and the 46 are going to be there within 2 laps. That's my prediction. The 3 will be up there.
I was going to say, don't forget the
3
3 or the 20 because Sean has looked stout tonight as well.
Yeah, I think the 6 may actually check up the 3 a little bit just because he only took left sides, which I do not think is going to be good in the corners. But the 46 doesn't have, he's got 2 slower cars in front of him.
Your top 10 are all on a whole lot better tires than Isaac and even Evan. I mean, his last pit was at lap 99.
I'm not sure when McRae last took tires, but I can't imagine his tires are all that great either.
He lap 109 with Michael and Adam and Brandon. He pitted when they did.
But was that fuel or was that tires?
It's showing him in there about a good 15 seconds. So Newbrow looks like he took fuel on.
So no, he took left.
Left.
So this actually may be a McRae perfect scenario, right? 3rd car in line with fresh tires. 2nd car in line on the inside.
And you have your teammate that's already in the playoffs right behind you.
I think if he gets a good launch, he's going to stick it 3 wide as soon as he can. Because
McRae is another one that's not afraid to get aggressive. We know that.
That whole top 10 right there is
but
can be aggressive.
The way I'm looking at it, right? Isaac's on such old tires. You got to imagine he's going to start pushing out to the wall. 28's on old tires. He's going to push out. That's going to open up that bottom line. That 7 should have ample opportunity to stick it 3 wide on the bottom.
This is going to get interesting. I'm excited. You boys excited? I'm excited.
We may hit that Carolina Reaper stage here real quick.
Oh yeah, I think we're well on our way. There ain't no doubt about it.
I'll tell you what, that's something we're gonna have to look forward to. We're gonna have to see if we can find us a little spicy meter over on the side. Put it in towards, raise it up and down and see how that.
I have my homework set before the Coke race tomorrow. Find Southern Broadcast Racing Network a spicy meter. Might have to get in touch with some of my guys over at Ancient World Gaming because we have a ton of streamers over there. Somebody may already have one.
Shoot, yeah. If not, you're pretty sure those guys at Talesman, they've got a pretty good team there too. So we might can find something one way or another.
Absolutely.
1 to go. Coming into turn 3. Gonna have 11 laps, 12 laps, call it. It's gonna be very interesting.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of calling on this one. It may not be what they want to hear. We're going to walk that screen down so we can see how this plays out.
Ace truck is off. Isaac controls the restart. We saw him spin his tires the last time. Better launch this time. Good launch for the 93. The 77 was not anticipating that. He kind of laid back a little bit, expecting him to spin his tires, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference here. That actually gave a huge hole for the 77 and the 46 to just come right through, and they should be there in no time.
Don't look now. The 3 is on his way.
The 46 just slid up in front of him, took the air off of that. 77's trying to make a move on the outside. That's a dangerous spot to be at with a car on old tires. I think he's going to have to send it in really deep into turn 1 to make this work. He's got to get clear. 93 had to check up. 46 into the back. 3 gets loose. Got tagged from the double or the 20 behind him.
And not happy over the race comms about it.
I mean, that all started with the 93 there having to lift. That's what caused all that. He was on old tires.
That one spinning towards turn 3.
James McCrae to the lead.
Now, if I remember correctly, Ludi is on fresh tires as well, so this is far, far from over.
I think McCrae is just sitting back there waiting for these guys to make a mistake, one of them. 36 to the bottom. He needs to get, if he's going to have a chance to win this race, he's got to get past that 28 car now. The longer he gets held up, the harder it's going to be to catch the 77. This is playing out perfectly for James McCrae in the 77. The 2 cars behind him are battling. That is going to slow them up. He's going to be able to get a little bit of a lead as the 46 sends it on the bottom, able to clear the 28. Now he's got his sights set on that 77 car.
McCrae, Petty both hit at the same time.
Yeah, Pettit's had the overall speed, though. I expect him to be able to at least get to that bumper. I don't know, it's going to be hard to pass, right? They're pretty equal, but I expect that he'll be able to get to the bumper. Gaining a lot on entry. We'll see if he's able to maintain that through the corner and through the exit. Looks like he did.
Dane Winston off the track. Back on. No caution.
46 is so much faster on entry of the corner, but still, it's going to be tough to pass that 77 car.
77 is trying to be 3 wide right now.
Oh, 46 got to his bumper, almost got into him. That's going to cost him some time on exit. 5 to go.
Adam's going to have to back up and rethink this because that little slowdown right there, that little block, cost him a little bit.
Yeah, I think he just didn't anticipate he was going to be coming in as fast as he did. If he would have lifted just a little bit more to stay off of him and then was able to get back on throttle, he probably could have been side by side into the next corner. But, like we said earlier, Bobby, right? The 46 is playing with house money. Is he going to get that aggressive with him? That's a teammate.
That is a teammate, and I don't think he will. I can tell you this much. I've known these guys for a short while as, you know, drivers for the team, but I watched them in ARCA and Truck all last season. And these guys will race the dog out of each other, but they will not cross that line. So I think if James makes a mistake, Adam's going to take it from him. He ain't going to hand it to him, but he won't force the issue either.
Yeah, but past experience watching James McRae race in the ARCA series, he doesn't make many mistakes.
No.
46 is on a charge, though. He closed that gap up pretty good. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It'll probably come down to the last lap to see if he can do anything with it. But he gained probably a good car length there.
Yeah, we're going to have his pointer on Ludi.
I was just going to say, we've got not just a battle for the overall win here, but we've got a battle brewing here for third place as well.
2 to go. 46 cuts it down to about a half a car width. Loses a little bit on exit. Now a full car in between. The only way the 46 is going to make this work is if the 77 misses the bottom. It's the only way I see it working. Okay, a lot of speed off of turn 4.
His cautions are out the window.
77 took the 46's line away. He had to, he almost got to the back of the 77, really had to lift. That's pretty much going to take care of that run. This is almost guaranteed the 77's win right here. 46 had to check up.
Don't look now. Great battle for third as well as Ludi protected that inside line perfectly.
Can the 20 do the crossover? That's the question. Not going to make it work, though.
Ludi going to hang on for top 3. Great race. Great race all the way through the field.
That was a great battle. That last part there, that was a lot of fun to watch as we see some wrecking going on the front stretch.
I also want to give a shout out here to Brandon Schaefer. You know, come back from pretty much being wrecked there on that restart to bounce back to a 6th place. So phenomenal job for him as well. Definitely not what he was going to be looking for tonight, but great save and great comeback there in that short 12-lap stint.
All right, looks like AWG took a 1 and a 2 out of the top 3. Shenandoah able to lock in that P3.
Well, I'll tell you what, boys, that was some great action at the end there. That was a lot of fun to watch and a lot of fun to call.
I think we're going to be seeing that all this season, Tony. I am so looking forward to this Xfinity series.
Well, McRae, you pulled it off, man. You had fate and fortune on your side and a little bit of Bobby up here cheering you on, man. Congratulations on that win.
Yeah, thank you. Somehow managed to do it. Thank Adam. He was probably faster. Was closing in on me there. But yeah, held him off though. So I guess that was something. Though he said if it was anyone but me, he probably would have bumped me out the way.
Yeah, there was a couple times he was to your bumper and really had to lift to stay off of you. So.
But yeah, otherwise, good race for the most part. I reckon. Didn't know if the, pit strategy and stuff was going to work out, but ended up working out. So, yeah, what can I say?
Man, You was up there a lot with Arca, so you know how it plays when you get up here, man. Especially when you get that win.
Yeah, I reckon Arca just got that one win to start off, and then I just kind of cruised the rest of the season. But um, I'm not too good in that car. I thought it was better in this car, but I mean, I won tonight, but I don't feel too confident in it as much, not as much as I thought I would. So I guess I need to, man, practice. I guess, man, that sucks.
Competition is deep as you go up. Trust me. Just wait till you see the Cup Series.
Yeah, there's a lot of good guys out here on track. I see a lot of fast guys. Um, yeah, but yeah, just happy to win here. Somehow pull through with strategy, and yeah, try to build momentum from here.
Well, man, there's one thing you don't have to worry about the rest of the regular season, and that's the playoffs, because you just locked yourself in.
Oh yeah, true that. Still trying to get better though. No point in not doing that, or else you know, just gonna lose it at the end.
Well, man, you won the race. I'm pretty sure Greg Rogers is pretty happy. He didn't have to name his firstborn kid after Evan Ludi, so I think he dodged a bullet there with you winning the race. But man, shout out to yours. What do you got?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Exiled, Adam and everybody, Steven, Nathan, um, gosh, if I name every name, I'm gonna go off. My mom out there, Bobby, you guys putting it on the show. Uh, Talisman, Ancient World Gaming Man, Exiled. I think I said that already. Everybody, you watching, you. I'm talking to you. I thank you.
Bobby, you're gonna have to give him your notepad.
I am. I'm gonna have to. If these guys are gonna keep running like this, and trust me, I'm hoping for it all season. I'm gonna have to do some PR training with these guys.
Well, real quick, I'm gonna poison the mind a little bit. Last week, Adam said I'd help a teammate out. Did he let off to let you win that one? That's the real question.
Maybe he's been getting pretty quick. Racing with him for a while, and he's gotten quicker than he was, or I've gotten slower, one of the two. But you know, he's quick regardless of which one of those is true.
Well, I'll tell you this. I won't take anything away from you. I don't feel like he let off to let you win. I think he raced you a little more conservatively, but definitely didn't make it easy on you there. He was all over your bumper, so you definitely earned that one. Congratulations on that, and we'll see you next week.
Alrighty, thank you guys.
Well, you know, we've got to put a little bit of food for thought. Which Petty, you know, we can probably find the real truth out now. We've got Petty in here since he won last week. I'm gonna tell you what, Exile's looking pretty good. 2 wins in a row.
Not too shabby, huh?
Bobby, I may let you just take care of these guys.
Y'all gonna give me a heart attack, but y'all making me proud. We're just gonna put it out there like that. So I'm gonna go off of we're gonna stoke the fire here a little bit. Off of what Jeremy had just asked. How much help in there was there for James to get that win? Inquiring minds would love to know.
Um, there was a couple times. I think with like 5 laps to go, I was there. If it was anybody other than an exiled guy, I probably would have put the bumper to him. But being that it was an exiled guy, I just kind of let it happen. And then on the last lap, again, if it was anybody but an exiled guy, probably would have driven in just that extra little bit. But I figured that the team owner would rather have 2 clean cars at the end of the race rather than 2 sitting there on the trailer. So.
Yeah, we got some sheet metal work to do this week as is. I'm waiting for the call from the morgue for poor Cody. But phenomenal job there. And I gotta say, I can imagine just by watching your race if McRae had made one little slip up, teammate or not, you were sending it there.
Yeah, I just wish I wouldn't have looped it there on the first turn of the very first lap, but is what it is.
Hey, you made it exciting with that. And actually, on that note, walk us through the run back up through the field there from pretty much dead last after looping it on, lap 1 to come back to be contending for a stage win there.
Honestly, I thought my tires were shot because I slid sideways for what felt like an eternity. So I was not in tire conserve, tire save mode. So it was just go, go, go. And what also helped to that was a lot of drivers were saving fuel there. So it made me look a little bit better than actually was. But the car definitely had speed tonight. I love this kind of place. It's a very methodical. You definitely got to hit your marks, and when you don't, especially in 1 and 2, it's really going to throw you up to the wall. So I just tried to stay disciplined and work through traffic the best that I could. Really clean drivers. Obviously, there's a couple here and there, but for the most part, league was relatively clean, and that's what also allowed me to do this.
Well, you did it last week. You've done it a ton last season. You know the drill, my friend. Friends, family, sponsors.
Yeah. Shout out to James on his dub tonight. Very very happy for him. Sean for his P4. Unfortunately, the other exiled guys kind of got caught up in some shit there. So, but better luck next week. Shout out to Talesman for sponsoring this series here, and then obviously AWG for being the league sponsor. We couldn't do all this without you guys and your support. So thank you very much for that. And then obviously exiled Bobby, you and everything that you do for the team over here. Thank you guys. Great broadcast. Watch it last week. Excited for that to watch this one, and then obviously my sponsors, Anything EC and Car Candy. Thank you guys very much.
Hell, you guys are just making me look good. I'm just sitting up here flapping my gums at this point. You guys are let's put it to you this way. The Xfinity team here is setting the bar pretty high for us cup guys and our truck team as well. So keep up the great work and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good, Bobby. Appreciate it.
Well, his team was one of the race sponsors, and the fact that he finished it out in the top 3, that's not too bad. Actually, talked to him a little bit before the race.
Damn good.
Evan, you sponsor a race, you're supposed to win it, but I guess the top 3 ain't too bad, is it?
Hey, for 10 lap older tires there, those last couple restarts, man, I will gladly take third. Gladly. But,
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Evan. I think Greg Rogers dodged a bullet because he came in chat in the stream and said that if you won it, he was going to name his first child after you. So
well, I was pretty close then. I was really close. But no, Greg started on the box crew chiefing for us tonight. He actually had to go, so we had truck driver Kevin Stein fill in, and man, he walked us through the end there. I mean, honestly, owe a lot of the third place to him. Spencer Dewsbury, he wrecked out, but man, practicing with him for the past 2 weeks, to be honest, he helped a lot because I did not have this speed before practicing with him. Sucks he wrecked out because honestly, you guys saw in that first stage, man, he's probably gonna blow everybody away. But got shuffled back and wrecked. But that's racing.
yeah, it seemed like he burned up his tires when he pulled that huge gap on everybody and just
Yeah.
ended up in a bad spot.
Yeah, he did. He did. But it's good racing. Good finish there at the end. I hope it was exciting on your guys' end. I hope I can stay with those 2 early championship contenders the rest of the season here because they are fast. But no, it's great to sponsor this race, SVR to sponsor it, and finish third, first podium in RRL. Big thanks to all the drivers and of course all the admin, broadcast, SBRN. You guys just great run tonight.
All right, man. Well, hopefully we'll see you next week. Congratulations on that third place, and looking forward to the next one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Where we at? Michigan.
Michigan.
Should be lots of fun.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you guys. Have a great night.
You as well.
Well, the truck guys, they're gonna fire it up tomorrow night. As trucks are bringing it to Texas, and it's going to probably be a pretty packed field. So make sure y'all check it out. Same time, same channel. Tony, Bobby, man, y'all join it every Monday. I appreciate it, and we'll probably do it again next Monday.
Yeah, probably.
100%. And I'm gonna say this. Obviously, hoping I'll be back up in the broadcast booth on Wednesday, just as Tony. But just in case, won't see you till next week. So I just want to, for those that celebrate, want to wish everybody a happy Easter coming up this Sunday.
Most definitely. Well, on behalf of myself, Tony, Bobby, Relentless Racing, SBRN, we will see y'all next week. Until then,
Keep it spicy.